I'm doing good. How are y'all?
Good. How do you feel physically going into this game?
I feel good. I've been able to become a full participant the last couple of practices, and I've been able to do everything, so I feel real good going into the game.
Amari, you were limited at different times during the year last year. Is it frustrating to go through that again this year, or do you feel like you're getting to the point where by the game it's not going to be a concern?
I could barely hear you. Can you repeat that?
Yeah. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
You were limited at different points during the season last year, especially towards the end of the season. How frustrating was it to deal with that during training camp, or do you look at it as that's part of the game, but I'll be ready by the time to play the right?
Yeah, it's not frustrating at all. It's football. When you've been playing football as long as I have, you realize that it's all a part of the game. It's not about not getting hurt or not getting nicks and bruises. It's about how you deal with them and how you can come back from them or how you can play through them and still be a productive player.
What was the injury? Was it a hamstring?
Yeah.
It was a hamstring, okay.
So a lot of discussion about CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup. Do people kind of forget about how great of a receiver you are sometimes?
I don't know people's minds. I don't know what they think.
But you believe in yourself that you are a great receiver. Isn't that fair to say?
Yep.
What do you think about you three as a group, you, Michael, and CeeDee?
Okay, what did you say? You said, what do I think about us?
All three of you guys, yes. As a group.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of potential. The stuff we've been putting on tape in practice, it's been impressive. I'm just excited about, actually going out and putting it on tape in games and seeing that potential come to life.
Amari, how exciting Amari about missing these practices here at the end of training camp? Does that compound anything going into the season? Because
I can't. It's not clear.
Someone else go ahead.
Amari, what have been the biggest changes? Amari, what have been the biggest changes in the offense from you from last year to this year? I know you might not be able to go into some details, but from what you're seeing, what has Mike McCarthy done to y'all's team?
I don't really want to get into comparing, the differences between last year and this year and saying, okay, one is better than the other or anything like that. But what I would say, just to simplify it, is I like what we're doing on offense.
Amari, how exciting is it for you to go against a guy like Jalen Ramsey?
It's always exciting, to go against a top corner or one considered to be one of the best in the league. I think he's a real good player. He has all the tangible assets that you would want in a cornerback. He's fast, long, can cover, has good ball skills. So, it's always a challenge, but it's exciting at the same time.
How different has this all season been for you? Obviously, no preseason games, working out's a little different. How has this all season been?
It's been different, but I wouldn't say it's not something that we're all not used to as football players. If I said that right. In college there's no preseason games. You have camp, and then you just jump right into that game. You have a couple of scrimmages, and we kind of tried to imitate that at the Star. In high school, same way. You don't really have those preseason games. So when you get into the NFL, you might deem them necessary because that's like kind of the tradition. But I'm not sure that they're absolutely necessary.
What have you thought of the growth of Trayvon Diggs, just what you've seen from him in training camp?
He looks real good. Real impressive rookie, especially for a cornerback, because I think that's one of the hardest positions to transition to when you come from college to the NFL. Because as a cornerback in college, you can be productive, you can be a great player, and not necessarily have all the tools needed to be a good NFL corner. But from what he's been showing in practice, he's made that transition look real easy, and he's been a tough matchup for us as receivers.
Can you tell he started out as a receiver, and do you think that helped him adapting more quickly coming into the NFL, the fact he actually played the position?
Yeah, I think, a lot of times when a cornerback has some type of ball skills, you don't just inherit those ball skills. You practice with the ball a lot, and usually that comes from playing offense. So yeah, I could tell he's played some receiver growing up, and I think it does help him because he's able to recognize routes, and he's able to feel like when somebody's going to break in versus when they're going to break out because he's played the position. So yeah, it's going to help him a lot. It really is.
Amari, Dak and Zeke have both talked about how Zeke sometimes likes to help Dak get the receivers lined up at the line of scrimmage. How have you seen him help that, and what does that do for your offense to have another guy looking at the defense for you?
I couldn't really understand what you were saying.
The first part.
Dak and Zeke have talked about how Zeke at the line of scrimmage will help y'all get lined up, call out coverages if Dak isn't able to get everyone lined up. How does that help you guys make sure you're ready for the play?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, sometimes we might go and line up, and it's usually like in situations to where Dak is relaying a play using like a signal or something, and we might not be able to see him because wide receivers are lined up kind of far from where the ball is and where the quarterback is, so the signal might not get relayed to us sometimes, and Zeke will probably just yell out the play and say this is the play, and then we'll hear it from him while Dak is handling some other stuff because as the quarterback handles so much at the line of scrimmage, and so I think that's what they're talking about.
Signed one of their largest contracts for a receiver in league history. Is there an expectation with that? There's more pressure on you because of that?
I mean, if there is, I don't feel any added pressure. I just go out there and play my game. I mean, the reason that I feel that I was extended was because I've just been playing the way that Amari Cooper plays. So if that was the reason I was extended, then it's nothing for me to just go out there and continue playing the way that I play.
If someone had never seen you play before and said, what does it look like to play the way Amari Cooper plays, what does that mean?
I try to epitomize the wide receiver position, and I think, at its core, it's just getting open, getting separation, making the throw easier for the quarterback, and that's what I try to do with every route that I run. I try to create as much separation as I possibly can.
All right.
How do you feel that
Last one, guys.
Amari, how do you feel the timing is with you and Dak and the receivers going into week one this year as opposed to a year where you've got a normal preseason?
I think it's good. Like we talked about in previous interviews, we've had opportunities to go to Dak's house and throw around. Obviously, we've been practicing for a while now, and even if we're not practicing, we're always talking and communicating about certain routes and certain aspects of certain routes. And so I feel like we're always on the same page going into the game.